What's up, everybody? My name is Brian Crawford. I'm a cinematographer, mainly in the commercial world, but I also do photography as a hobby and sometimes pay in the commercial world as well. And so in these next few videos, I want to go through a few of the different campaigns that I've shot with Joe Freshgoods in collaboration with a couple of different brands. And this first one is going to be the spot that we shot with Patta goods. The creative director, Joe Freshgoods, had this idea to be in a church while having a choir of kids sing the Black National Anthem. And from there, our director, Miata, she took that idea and we kind of came together to make this spot. In this video, I'm gonna be doing a lighting breakdown on the different scenes, the scenes that didn't make it, and also the scenes that did make it to the spot. And just walk you through the day, walk you through pre-production, AKA just prepping. So for this video, we shot with the Alexa 35 with the Angenieux Optimo 12 by, I think that's the proper term for it. But it is essentially a crazy zoom lens. It's literally like the size of my arm. And we did this because we had the idea of doing different zoom outs. Solange was a big reference for this, along with a bunch of different reference images that I'll put up on the screen now. And so our biggest goal was to be able to do this quick. As a DP, I am going to be talking to my director, figuring out where we are, what time of day it is, what's the story we're trying to tell, as well as like how much time will we have, where will the location be, can we scout the location, etc., etc. Me and Miata, we get together, we start talking through it, and essentially the scene is set up. We are capturing these kids after school, choir rehearsal. From there, it informs me what I need to do lighting wise. If it was a bright sunny day outside and it wasn't choir rehearsal, or it was a weekend choir rehearsal, the lighting would be different than if it is like after school, nighttime, right before it's time to go home and go to bed. So we were able to maneuver, kind of make this a little bit more moody. It's not like super moody, but we were able to get away with a darker look, which I really liked how this came out. Shout out to my crew for putting this all together. But again, pre-production, we're just talking through the logistics of how everything is going. And then that also informs us what camera we might want to use, and what lenses we might want to use. What type of movement do we want to see in the spot? And so from there, Miata's pulling references. She sends like Solange's, I think When I Get Home, I think is what it's called. And then Joe had different references of different choirs, kid choirs, for photos. And so this is informing me what we need. Production day, call time was super early. I want to say like 4:35 in the morning. We're loading out the truck. We got like a 2-ton grip truck from Camera Ambassador. Shout out to them. And so we had all that we could really afford within our budget. And so we had to figure out how to light this big church with all of my lighting gear and grip gear from Camera Ambassador. So after we get done loading out, I'm talking to my gaffer, Colin. And Colin and I are trying to figure out essentially the best way to light this thing and do it safely for our crew. This church was very old, wasn't the most put together. They had stairs, no elevators, no nothing. So we were trying to figure out the best way to light it the way I wanted to. I had like overhead diagrams that I had already had in mind. And when I'm thinking about lighting, I'm thinking about it in the smallest way, right? Just like this video, I know I want to have a key light, maybe some backlight, some side light, etc. And when you get to bigger locations, you are essentially doing that same thing, but just on a bigger scale. So instead of having like one source that's like a key light, that's just one fixture, you're probably going to have multiple fixtures that carry and wrap that light around in a bigger area. And I hope that makes sense. And so from there, we start off the day actually in a scene that you don't see at all in the spec. And it's the top of the location. There's a balcony with a nice stained glass. But then there's the floor, which is the main level, which is what you see most in the spec. Our director had the idea of using both, and we just wanted to have both just in case in post we wanted to use one over the other. But I think once we got to the main level, which we spent the least amount of time there, we realized that that was the shot. And so at the top of the day, we wanted to start off in the balcony of the church. Once we started shooting, I kind of got the hang of pulling out, zooming out, and we start off on the stained glass and we zoom out to the choir, which this version didn't make it. But the stained glass zoom out part did. So we start off the video with the stained glass, which was all lit from just natural light, which was really nice. And then we cut to this wide shot of the choir and the choir director. And fun fact, this shot is cropped majorly, which is something that happened in post where, you know, creatively we wanted to show the brands on the shawls a lot later, which that's something we didn't pick up on the day of, I guess creatively or in pre-production. And so we cropped this significantly. So it's a lot more headroom than I wanted, but we still kind of get the same effect. This is also, I want to say, a zoom in post because we are on a track with Pee Wee Dolly. So we're actually like physically moving, but to exaggerate the movement a little bit more in post, we zoomed in and then we zoomed out to just make it more epic. And so as we're going throughout the day, we shoot a bunch of different angles, which you see the side angle, and having that Pee Wee Dolly definitely helps moving a camera this big around fairly easy. And then you see these shots that are in the balcony, which were truly just candid moments. The kids were in between takes and they had time to chat, so they were, which was really cool. And I remember we were on set and Joe was just like, make sure we get this just to have it. It's like genuine moments, which I think that's something that Joe is able to create pretty well. Joe lives for the simpleness of life, the little things, the little details, kids being able to talk. And our whole thing, talking to the director, Miata, we wanted to paint a picture. Who are these kids? What are they doing? What are they getting ready for? We wanted to capture these different moments, and these were just genuine moments that we happened to capture the day of. So I'm happy that we did, because it really tied in the video a lot better than it probably would without them. Back on the ground, the kids singing, we honestly just did the same moves. Like our movement, we wanted it to be consistent. Zoom out, zoom ins, mainly zoom outs, just so we can have this big reveal at the end, which is the collaboration between Joe Freshgoods and Patta, which you see here at the end, and that's like our main reveal. One thing that I really enjoy about Joe, or working with Joe and his team, is that they're not trying to sell things all the time. Like, they're trying to create a moment, which I think we have kind of lost. And so, through this, it wasn't about a product. the jacket that they released was really, really nice, and we probably could have placed it somewhere, but we didn't, because it was more about the moment and kind of the sacred moment through these different things. But how we lit it. So we had one main key light, which was my 1200X through a 150 dome, both aperture brand. And then we had a few of my ADCs around, pretty much just uplight in the background. Then I had my P300s filling in different places, giving us some backlights. And then I had my 600Xs pointing down as backlights to give us some separation from the background even more. And you see that a lot on these side angles, and they really did do something really well. And then our colorist added some halation to it, which gave it this glow, which I really, really liked. Not a super complex setup. I think for most of these next few videos, the lighting setups are simple. And I think the reason why I really want to show these is because a lot of times in the commercial world, especially in the lower budget tier of commercials, you're not trying to overdo it. You're trying to do just enough. You're trying to make it make sense to the audience. I think sometimes even myself, I can overthink lighting, because it's just I want this to be really pretty, and I want this to, but at the end of the day, it's about more of the storytelling elements. Most churches don't have great lighting, so why are we trying to light it crazy? We want to light it realistic, and with our time constraints and constraints on crew, as far as just having enough crew and enough time, it just wasn't possible. So what can we do to make this look as simple as possible, not too lit, but still pretty, because we want everybody to look their best. And so we kept it simple. I'm not gonna butcher this video, but I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one, where we break down another shoot we did with Joe Freshgoods. It was his In My Bag podcast campaign for a shoe drop that he did with New Balance. Super cool, super simple, and it was a viral moment. I think that was one of their most watched videos ever for a campaign. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video, and I will see you then.